Hi everybody. This is just a real quick short video, my first video to you on section 1.4. We are just going to do a really brief, quick introduction into this. It's a pretty straightforward lesson. So I'm going to go through just a very little bit with you and kind of show you what you're looking at, get you started a little bit so that way you can kind of work through a little bit of this stuff, and then we'll come together next time you're with me and we will have a conversation about this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to pull up, there we go. I'm going to pull up the worksheet that you guys will see on Google Classroom. This worksheet is the one, there's a fly in here. This worksheet is the one that I want you to be working on today and tomorrow, as well as over the weekend. So if you're, actually, I guess tomorrow is the weekend for a lot of you. So just make sure that as you're working through this, you're doing the best that you can. You're just understanding what we're talking about. This is about general shapes and general sizes. So we're going to get started here, and I'm just going to work through a little bit of it and get you started. Okay. So this is going to start off with something called classifying polygons. Now, what I want you to know about a polygon is basically just a shape that is either open, it's not open. It is closed, but it either caves in or it doesn't cave in. That's the words that we're kind of thinking about here. So what we want to start with is get out of that. What we want to start with is we want to start with the fact that polygons are closed plane figures formed by 3 or more points whose endpoints are called vertices. So for those of you who can't read that, that's a hard to write there. So that word is called vertices. Now a polygon, closed plane figure. It means that it can be drawn on a sheet of paper. It also means that it's closed. So if it starts out, it doesn't matter what it looks like, but as long as it closes and nothing could get out of it, that is a closed plane figure, which is a polygon. Now most polygons have a general shape, but I'm just drawing a few weird ones here. If I go up to this thing right here, I can actually draw my own, and I can make it look however I want to make it look. Doesn't make a difference. Every single one of these things that I'm drawing right now is called a polygon. All right. Now, the big thing that a lot of people are kind of thinking, it says right here, a polygon is something that is formed by 3 or more points. So one question that I get all the time is, are circles polygons? The answer is no, because a circle doesn't have 3 or more points. It's got a bunch of points that never come together to create these things, which are called vertices. So where those pieces come together, those things are called vertices. So that means that the circle is not a polygon. So if I want to draw a picture of something that's not a polygon, oh, my board just stopped working. Hopefully it works. There we go. So this thing, it's not working at all. There we go. This thing is a circle. A circle is not a polygon. This thing right here is not a polygon. If I were to draw my pen is not working at all here, so I apologize. Technical difficulties. Oops. Whoa. Don't do that to me. There. So this thing, come on. This thing would not be a polygon. This thing would not be a polygon. If I draw a little triangle, but I don't close the triangle off at the top, that thing is not a polygon. So anything that does not close at the top is not a polygon. All right. The next thing that we want to look at is we want to look at these words. These are the types of polygons that you can have. The types of polygons that there can be. There can be something called a convex, a concave, an equilateral, an equiangular, and a regular polygon. So we're going to go through each of those definitions so that way we can figure out what they are and what they look like. I'm going to use my my drawing tool in this so that hopefully it makes it a little bit easier to see than my normal handwriting would look. So I'm going to change the thickness of my line here. So a convex polygon is a polygon where no line contains a side of the polygon that contains a point out in the interior of a polygon. Okay. So basically what this means, and the way that we would write this or call this, is we would call this a convex polygon. But what this means is if I draw a picture of a polygon, doesn't matter what that picture looks like, it could be any one of these. So if this thing is a polygon just like this, it's basically saying that you cannot, it is impossible to put a point somewhere on this polygon and put a point somewhere else, anywhere else, literally anywhere else on this polygon. And no matter where I put it, the line will either be in, that connect these, the line will either be in or it will be on the polygon. So no matter what, if I go like this, that line is either in or on the polygon. Now let's say I have a picture that looks like this. See how this one kind of caves in? If I put a point here and I put a point here, if I try to connect those 2 points, you see how that dotted line goes outside of my shape? That is a concave polygon. Okay, it's a polygon that caves in. We call these, as you probably guessed, we call these concave polygons. So a concave polygon, okay? An equilateral polygon is a polygon with all congruent sides. So it's where every single side in the polygon is the exact same. So I can pick any one of these ones up here because these are actually all perfect polygons, but let's pick a square like this. And you'll notice that all of these squares, or all of these sides, are all the exact same. Okay, so that is an equilateral polygon. An equiangular polygon. If I have an equiangular polygon, that means I have a shape. It doesn't matter what the shape looks like, but it means, oops, I should write this first. It means that I have all equal angles. Now, if I'm going to draw a picture, this picture looks something like this. It doesn't matter which one I pick again, so I'll just pick a pentagon. So if I draw one that looks like this, I am going to say all of these angles are congruent. I do that with those little things that we call swoosh marks. Oops. With those little things called swoosh marks, that signifies that every single one of those angles is the exact same. Okay? A regular polygon is both of these two things put together. It is all congruent sides and angles. So it's congruent sides and angles. So let me show you a picture of what that would look like. Let's say we're using a hexagon. So I draw a picture of my hexagon, and I would say that all of the sides are congruent to each other. So boom, 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 boom. And then I would also say that all of the angles are congruent to each other with those swoosh marks. So all of these are also the exact same because all of the sides and all of the angles are congruent to each other. So all sides and angles congruent to each other. All right. Those are the most important words that we're going to be dealing with today. So now let's go through and we'll talk about this part right here. This part is what I want you to do, or one of the parts that I want you to do as we work through here. You have to try to name the polygon, okay? That means that you can go to Google, you can go to whatever, and the number of sides, you just type in what is a three-sided polygon called, and then you write in this part. I'm not going to do this part for you. Your next part right here is you're trying to figure out exactly if this thing is or is not a polygon. Is it possible for you to draw a point on anything, any part in here, and draw a line? Is it convex? Is it concave? Does it cave in? If I look at this one right here, I see that it looks like it's caved in. I would say this is not a polygon, or not a convex polygon. This is a concave polygon. If I look at this, I would say, no, this is not a polygon because it has a circle in it, okay? So that's what I want you to look at, and I want you to try this part out. I want you to try this and see what you can come up with. This part down here, same kind of thing. This I want you to attempt, but I'm not expecting you to do this all this weekend, okay? So this is something that we can come together and talk about, but I want you to try it. I'm not going to quiz you on something that looks like this, but I might quiz you on something that looks like these, okay? I might ask you what these are. So just keep that in mind as we move forward, okay? I want to keep this video a little bit short so that you can enjoy some of your weekend and some of your day off, but I want you to make sure that you have this much done for absolute sure. And then I want you to try this part on your own just a little bit to see what you can come up with, because all of you are smart enough to be able to come up with whatever you see here. So when we come back, we will talk about this, but I'd like you to try and have this done, okay? So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. Send me a remind, send me an email, whatever you need to talk to me, please make sure that you do that, okay? So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will talk to you soon.